Hey guys, my name is Abby and today I'll be giving you a review on Artflow. Didn't mean to make that sound sing-songy, but I did. Artflow is an app that's been around for a couple of years, but the creators behind it are doing a great job of making sure that they update it so it can keep up with some of the competitors out there like Procreate and Adobe Fresco. Now you can download Artflow for free and then upgrade to a pro version for about $4.99, which is just really, it's just $5. Today I'm going to be reviewing the pro version and try to figure out if it's worth that upgrade. When I'm trying to figure out if an art app is worth my time, I'm looking at it in three main categories: the drawing experience, the interface, and the editing tools. Starting off with the drawing experience, my interaction with the app is going to be slightly different than other people because I'm using the Samsung Note 10, which means I'm using that Wacom stylus that it comes with. If you're using a different device with a different digitizer, then you might have a different experience with it. When I opened up the app for the first time, everything worked right out of the box. I didn't have to fiddle around with the settings. The drawing experience overall is pretty great. I don't experience too much issues when it comes to lag or performance. Again, that's going to differ on the devices that you're using, but overall, brush quality seems to be pretty solid. The app gives you three main drawing tools to use: your regular brush tool, as well as the eraser tool, and your smudge tool. Now, what's great is that each one of those tools share the same brush pack amongst them. There's about 6 different brush packs in total. You have your standard inking brush sets, pencil brush sets, as well as paint brush sets. But then on top of that, you have your texture brush sets, as well as pattern brush sets, and an airbrush brush set. And on top of that, you can create your own brush, which is awesome. Now, the different brush packs themselves are pretty solid, with the pencil brush pack being the real standout. The H, B, and B pencils do a solid job of replicating that experience with those pencils, so you can really get your shading and fine details within the app. So, great job on that front. For the inks, they offer plenty of brushes with different textures that you can apply to your drawing. However, my problems with it has to do with the fact that you can't get a smooth, crisp line quality out of them. You gotta fiddle around with the settings a little bit to get it to what you need. But for me, when I'm inking, I don't want the pressure sensitivity from my device to inform the softness of my brush. What I really want to do is just have a clean, crisp line every single time. I've adjusted my opacity all the way to 100%, but it still creates a little bit of fuzziness at the beginning or the end of my brush stroke. What I really want is clear, concise lines. Now, on the paintbrush side, it uses the pressure sensitivity of my device to determine the opacity level as I'm applying different amounts of pressure on my canvas. And that's all good and it's great, but what I really want for a paintbrush is to be able to determine how well it's mixing with the colors on my canvas as I'm applying pressure. This is something that's missing within this app, and I'm hoping down the line they can add it as a feature, but for now you really got to play around with the opacity settings to really trick the app into doing its blending modes. It's very similar on how I work in Photoshop, but the difference with Photoshop is that I have my keyboard shortcuts that allows me to adjust the opacity levels as I'm painting, and I'm able to sample with my colors really quickly, whereas here it's a little bit more difficult because you're using your touchscreen interface to do it. I just wish that the pressure sensitivity really took care of that. Interface may seem like a really strange thing to be worried about when it comes to reviewing a drawing app, but for me it's really important. When you're working on a device like your phone or a tablet, it's really important how much of your screen is taken up with menus. A lot of times apps try to get around this by offering sort of a tray where you can have your brush settings just off to the side of your screen or at the bottom of your screen. But for me personally, they still manage to get in the way. It's kind of annoying and really difficult to work your way around. Artflow's solution around this is pretty elegant. While you're drawing on it, all your menu options completely disappear. However, when you do need to see your menu options, there's an icon on the far top right of your screen. Tapping on it reveals your primary window. Here you can adjust things like your brush sizes, your opacity, redo, undo, as well as select your different brush tools. And if you need to get even more in depth with your menus, just tapping on any one of those items will always reveal a secondary menu. Now, while this does address my first concern of taking up too much real estate on your screen, there is a downside to this method, which is the app does a poor job of letting you know that there are submenus for each of these tools that's on the screen. The reason why I have editing as a category is that most apps do a really good job with the drawing experience and the interface. It's the last part, editing, that they really stumble. For me, when I'm using a drawing app, I want to be able to finish my entire illustration in that app. When I'm drawing on my phone, it's not like I'm spending hours on my phone. I'm just doing a quick session on it, and I want to be able to finish my drawing at that session. I don't have to like save the file, figure out a way to import it to my computer, and then on Photoshop do my file editing process. I want to just be able to get the damn thing done, because otherwise it's never going to get done. So I'm happy to say Artflow offers some really solid editing tools in their app. Not only can you do things while you're drawing, like flip your canvas, which is an incredibly useful tool, I'm going to do a video about that later, but you also have the ability to do some advanced selections. And what I mean by that is that most apps offer you a circle selection or a rectangular selection. Here you get those options, but you also have your freehand selection. But not only that, they also give you the ability to add to your selection or subtract from your selection. These are some advanced tools that you only normally see in some desktop apps, and it's really cool to see them here. Now, taking it a step further, you have your layer adjustments. Clicking on the layer icon reveals all your layers. You can reorder them, which is normal. You can hide them, again, very normal. And then you can lock your layers, also normal. But what impressed me is that we also have tools like your layer blending mode. These are things, again, that you see on Clip Studio Paint or Photoshop or other desktop apps. Here you have those same selections. So you have things like multiply, soft light, hard light, as well as your linear dodge. And these are tools that are very useful when you're doing things like different lighting effects with your layers. Now you can also apply some layer adjustments to your layers. So you can do things like hue saturation, adjust your curves, and hell, if you feel like it, you can throw some halftones on there. All these tools are awesome. They do a great job of moving your drawing from its beginning sketch stage to its final polished state. So, is Artflow worth shelling out $5 to upgrade to the Pro version? The answer is yeah, absolutely. It does a great job with the drawing experience. The interface is really crisp and clean, and the editing tools are fantastic. So I have no problems recommending this app to anyone who wants to start drawing on their phones or tablet device. There is room for improvement, but the creators have done a pretty solid job of consistently updating the app, so I'm faithful that they can address some of the concerns they have with things like the inking brush or the paintbrush. If you don't know what Skillshare is, it's an online training platform where you can take a variety of different courses. So you can do things like digital drawing or 3D modeling. Now the good news is that I got a promo code that I put in the video description below where you can get 2 free months at Skillshare, which is an awesome deal. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, or you felt like I missed something in the review, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. Until next time.